This video is about Kaguya light, but demon returns. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Kaguya shines light, but demon returns. In the ancient realm of Ayakashi, where the moonlight danced upon the sacred rivers and the mountains whispered the tales of gods, a legend was born. The divine Kaguya, a moon goddess of unparalleled beauty and ethereal grace, watched over her realm with a heart full of compassion. She illuminated the world, casting her silvery light upon the land, bringing hope and comfort to all who dwelled beneath her gaze. Yet a shadow loomed over the harmony of Ayakashi. The demon Narukami, once imprisoned deep in the underworld for his malevolence, stirred anew. Bound by the curse of the gods, he had festered in the darkness, plotting his return, his vengeance against Kaguya and her celestial kin. The winds of fate began to shift, whispering of his impending return. One fateful night, the villagers gathered in the great hall of Tsurugi, where the air shimmered with the energy of prayers. Flickering lanterns cast shadows of heroes long past upon the walls. A young warrior named Haruto stood before the crowd, his hands trembling as he recounted the tales of Narukami's wrath. "He will rise again. The stars speak of his fury. We must prepare ourselves." The villagers, though fearful, looked to Haruto, whose heart burned with the desire to protect them. His spirit was fierce, forged in the fires of honor. "We cannot let fear bind us. We must fight," he declared, his voice echoing through the hall. As murmurs of doubt filled the air, an elderly sage named Kungoro stepped forward. His eyes, clouded yet wise, pierced through the chaos. "It is not mere strength that shall defeat Narukami. We need the favor of the gods and the bravery of souls willing to sacrifice everything." With the embers of his words igniting a flicker of hope, Kaguya descended from her celestial abode, her presence bathing the hall in a radiant glow. "Fear not, for I shall guide those brave enough to stand against the darkness," she proclaimed, her voice a melodic echo that wrapped around each villager like a warm embrace. "But I cannot do this alone. Grant me your blessing, divine Kaguya, and I will stand as a shield for our people," Haruto implored, kneeling before her. The others followed suit, their heads bowed in reverence. Kaguya smiled gently, a tear of moonlight falling from her eye, illuminating Haruto's path. "Bravery is noble, but wisdom is essential," she replied, her voice weaving through the air like a silk thread. "You must seek the fabled sword of Aeshira, forged from the heart of a fallen star. It is the only weapon that can pierce Narukami's dark soul." Determined, Haruto rallied a group of warriors, Shiori, a fierce archer with unerring aim, and Ryu, a warrior blessed by the thunder god. Together, they ventured into the treacherous depths of the Shiranui forest, a place where light seldom penetrated and shadows danced with malice. As they ventured deeper, the forest grew alive with sinister sounds. Twisted trees clawed at the sky, their gnarled branches resembling the fingers of the damned. Haruto's heart raced as he felt the weight of destiny upon him, an echo of ancient prophecies whispering in his soul. The trio pressed forward, only to be confronted by a swarm of malevolent spirits, lost souls bound to Narukami's malevolence. The air crackled with tension as Shiori drew her bow, the arrow glinting like a star ready to be unleashed. "Stand firm, we fight for our future," she cried, releasing a flurry of arrows that pierced the darkness. Haruto charged forward, his sword gleaming with the light of Kaguya's blessing. "For honor and our people," he shouted, clashing with the spirits in a whirlwind of steel and fury. Each strike echoed with the cries of warriors long past, the memory of their courage infused into his every movement. But just as hope began to swell within them, a deep growl reverberated through the forest. The ground trembled as a massive creature emerged from the shadows, a guardian of Narukami, a serpent with scales like obsidian and eyes that glowed with malevolence. The air thickened with dread, and Ryu shouted, "We cannot falter, we must unite our strength." The serpent lunged, its fangs glistening with venom. Haruto sidestepped, narrowly avoiding its lethal bite. Shiori aimed for its heart. He roared, his voice slicing through the chaos. With unwavering focus, Shiori released an arrow that soared through the air like a comet, embedding itself deep within the serpent's chest. With a roar of agony, the creature thrashed, its body convulsing as Narukami's darkness began to seep from its wounds. "We must finish this," Ryu yelled, summoning the storm within him. Thunder crackled overhead, and he unleashed a bolt of lightning that struck true, electrifying the serpent into submission. As the creature collapsed, a dark mist enveloped the battlefield, revealing a path that shimmered with the remnants of light. "The sword is near," Haruto declared, leading his companions into the depths of the forest. Through tangled roots and eerie silence, they emerged into a vast clearing illuminated by an otherworldly glow. At the center lay the sword of Aeshira, embedded in a stone that pulsed with ethereal energy. Its blade shimmered, carrying the weight of ages, and Haruto approached it with reverence. As his fingers wrapped around the hilt, the ground shook and an echoing voice filled the air. "Only the pure of heart may wield the sword. Speak your intent," the voice commanded. Haruto's heart raced as he spoke. "I seek to protect my people from the darkness that threatens to consume us. I will not falter." With a blinding flash, the sword responded, releasing a surge of power that coursed through Haruto's veins. The bond between warrior and weapon was forged, and he felt the presence of Kaguya envelop him with strength. But triumph was short-lived. The forest trembled again as Narukami's dark aura erupted from the depths, manifesting in a whirlwind of shadows. The demon, cloaked in darkness, emerged from the depths of despair, eyes burning with hatred. "Foolish mortals, you dare challenge me?" He roared, his voice a thunderous echo that sent shivers down their spines. "Your reign of terror ends here, Narukami," Haruto cried, brandishing the sword of Aeshira, its blade shimmering with celestial light. "We fight for our future, our honor." Narukami sneered, a cruel smile twisting upon his lips. "Your light is but a flicker against the encroaching darkness." He unleashed a torrent of shadows, engulfing the clearing in a suffocating embrace. The air grew thick, suffused with despair as the very essence of darkness sought to extinguish the light. But Kaguya's radiant spirit surged within Haruto, igniting a fierce determination. "Together," he shouted, raising the sword high, channeling the power of the gods. Shiori and Ryu stood at his side, their spirits entwined in the struggle against the dark tide. With a clash that echoed throughout the realm, Haruto charged at Narukami, the sword glowing fiercely. The demon roared, summoning tendrils of shadow to ensnare them. But Haruto's unwavering spirit broke through the darkness, the light of Aeshira illuminating the way. In that moment, destiny intertwined their fates. Haruto struck with all his might, the blade cutting through the shadows as the darkness wavered in the face of the pure light. "For honor, for our people," he bellowed, desperation fueling his every blow. Yet Narukami, fueled by rage, retaliated with all his fury. The clash of light and dark erupted into a cataclysmic spectacle, reverberating through Ayakashi. The warriors fought with everything they had, their hearts pounding in time with the rhythm of battle, but the shadows threatened to consume them all. As the tide of battle surged, Kaguya's voice echoed through Haruto's mind, urging him forward. "You are not alone. Remember the sacrifices of those before you. Draw strength from them." Each word became a lifeline, a beacon amidst the chaos. With renewed vigor, Haruto surged forward, his blade slicing through the veil of shadows. "This ends now," he declared, rising against the encroaching darkness. He could feel the weight of his ancestors upon him, their spirits guiding him as he faced Narukami's wrath. But the demon was relentless, spewing forth his dark magic, intent on reclaiming his dominion. Haruto could feel the anguish of his people, the fear that gripped them, and it ignited a flame within him, burning fiercely against the overpowering darkness. With one final push, Haruto called upon the essence of the sword, channeling the light of Kaguya that flowed through him. The sword glowed brighter, illuminating the forest as a blinding wave surged forth, shattering Narukami's dark form into a cascade of shadows. Yet amidst the victory, a chilling laugh echoed through the clearing as Narukami's Kaguya shines light, but demon returns. The echo of Narukami's laughter resonated in the hollow air, a sinister reminder that darkness was far from vanquished. Haruto's heart raced as he readied himself for whatever vile form the demon would take. "You may have shattered my corporeal form," Narukami's voice oozed with malevolence, "but I am the embodiment of despair. I shall return in 1,000 guises, and when I do, all shall tremble before me." Shiori, her brow furrowed and heart pounding, steadied herself beside Haruto. "We cannot allow him to escape. We must end this now." Her fierce eyes glinted with determination, the very essence of courage that had brought them this far. Ryu, his muscles taut, cracked his knuckles and glared into the swirling shadows. "Then let us not waste this moment. To the edge of the abyss we charge." The air around him crackled with the remnants of his thunderous power, a storm brewing at his fingertips. Yet as they readied themselves for a final confrontation, the world around them twisted and warped. The shadows thickened, elongating like grasping hands, and the light of the sword dimmed as Narukami's laughter morphed into a cacophony of madness. "Your fate is sealed. You have awakened something far greater than a mere demon," he roared, and the ground trembled as dark tendrils erupted from the earth. In an instant, the shadows coalesced into twisted shapes, horrors birthed from the deepest fears of the warriors' hearts. Spectral wolves, wraiths clad in tattered armor, and serpentine creatures with eyes like burning coals emerged, each a manifestation of the darkness that Narukami commanded. "Fight!" Haruto shouted, his voice a rallying cry that cut through the oppressive atmosphere. With Aoshira's blade held high, he charged into the fray, the light flickering like a beacon against the encroaching dread. Shiori unleashed a volley of arrows, each imbued with Kaguya's light, illuminating the shadows as they found their marks. Ryu summoned a tempest, channeling the thunderous fury of his lineage. "You think to frighten us, Narukami? We are forged in the fires of battle." With a clap of thunder, he struck the ground, sending shockwaves through the dark masses. But the tide of battle was treacherous. Each foe they felled only seemed to multiply, as if Narukami fed on their despair, summoning more shadows to overwhelm them. The warriors fought valiantly, yet they began to tire, their strength waning against the relentless assault. As exhaustion set in, Haruto found himself beside Shiori, who was breathless and bloodied, her arrows running low. "We must find a way to sever his connection to this realm," she gasped, determination still sparking in her eyes. "There must be a source to his power." "Agreed," Haruto panted, his heart racing with the urgency of their plight. "But how? The darkness seems endless." He looked back at Ryu, who was locked in combat with a monstrous wraith, thunder crackling around him. Then, as the battle raged on, a glimmer of hope flickered in Haruto's mind. The shrine of Kaguya," he shouted, a plan forming. "If we can reach it, we may find the blessing we need to close the portal Narukami opened." "Then we fight our way through," Shiori declared, her resolve rekindled. Together, with a renewed sense of purpose, they pressed forward, carving a path through the shadows. The spectral wolves lunged with ferocity, but Ryu met them with a rippling wave of thunder, scattering their forms as they howled in agony. Haruto swung Aoshira with precision, each stroke imbued with the light of Kaguya, cutting through the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Yet even as they fought bravely, the sheer weight of Narukami's darkness bore down upon them. The air grew thick and suffocating, each breath a reminder of despair. "Stay together," Ryu yelled as he felled yet another creature. "We cannot allow him to divide us." But in a moment of chaos, a shadowy serpent emerged, its jaws wide, aiming for Shiori. Before Haruto could react, she was ensnared, a scream escaping her lips as the darkness coiled around her, threatening to pull her into the abyss. "No," Haruto roared, his heart lurching. "Shiori!" He lunged forward, swinging Aashira, but the shadows closed around her like iron chains, dragging her into a dark pit. "Haruto, save the shrine," Shiori shouted, her voice growing fainter. "You must." Her words were swallowed by the shadows, leaving Haruto in a cold pit of despair. "Shiori," he cried, anguish tearing through him. "Focus," Ryu urged, shoving him away from the pit. "We must go. We cannot let her sacrifice be in vain." With a heavy heart, Haruto nodded, steeling himself against the pain. They dashed towards the shrine, the way ahead illuminated by the last flickers of moonlight. The ground shook with Narukami's wrath, the demon's dark laughter echoing in their ears. "Fools, you cannot escape your fate," he taunted, the shadows swirling like a storm behind them. "Your friend is lost, and soon you shall join her." But with each step, Haruto felt Kaguya's presence growing stronger, a warm light pulsing through him, urging him forward. As they reached the shrine, its ancient stones radiated with a gentle glow, beckoning them closer. "Place the sword upon the altar," Ryu commanded, his eyes wide with realization. "It must be blessed by the divine light to sever Narukami's hold." With a surge of hope, Haruto approached the altar, placing Aashira upon its surface. The sword shimmered, reacting to the celestial energy that flowed through the shrine. Light engulfed them, bathing their surroundings in a radiant glow. "Feel the power of the moon goddess," Ryu shouted, his voice ringing with fervor. "Let her grace empower us." As the light enveloped Aashira, a vision filled Haruto's mind. Kaguya herself, surrounded by the ethereal beauty of the moonlit sky, stretching her hands towards him with grace. "Brave warrior, you carry the hopes of your people. Your heart is pure, and it is not yet time for despair." The sword trembled, the energy building within it. Haruto felt the weight of his ancestors, their sacrifices a powerful echo in his spirit. "Together we shall overcome," he cried. In that moment, a beam of light shot from the sword, piercing the darkness that surrounded them. The shadows recoiled as the divine energy surged forth, illuminating the shrine and shattering the tendrils of Narukami's hold. "No," Narukami bellowed, his voice now tinged with fear. "You cannot do this." The shadows twisted and shrieked, fighting against the light, but it surged with a power born from the hopes and dreams of every soul in Ayakashi. "By the strength of the moon and the courage of my people," Haruto declared, raising Aashira high, "I banish you." With one final surge, the light erupted, consuming the darkness and revealing the true form of Narukami, a twisted visage of despair, contorted and writhing. The shadows melted away, and before Haruto stood the demon, trembling with rage. "You may have won this battle," Narukami hissed, his voice now a mere whisper of wrath. "But know this, my darkness will never truly fade. It will always linger, waiting for the moment of weakness." And with that, he dissolved into a shroud of shadows, banished to the farthest reaches of the underworld, but not without leaving a chilling promise echoing in the air. Exhausted, Haruto and Ryu staggered back, watching as the shrine pulsed with the light of Kaguya, filling them with warmth and solace. "We did it," Ryu breathed, his voice heavy with both relief and grief. "But at what cost?" "Shiori," Haruto murmured, his heart heavy with sorrow. "We must find her. We cannot leave our friend behind." As they turned to leave the shrine, the light pulsing softly behind them, they felt it, the lingering connection of hope that Kaguya had instilled within them. It was not merely the end of a battle, but the beginning of another quest, a journey to recover their lost companion and fortify their spirits against the darkness that would inevitably return. Together, they stepped into the fading twilight, their hearts burdened yet unyielding against the shadows, ready to face the trials that lay ahead. The light of Kaguya shone still, guiding their path as they ventured into the uncertain world beyond, where legends continued to unfold, and the eternal struggle between light and dark awaited them. In the heart of Ayakashi, the battle raged on, a reminder that even in the depths of despair, Kaguya shines light, but Demon Returns Part 3. As twilight cast its final hues across the realm of Ayakashi, Haruto and Ryu emerged from the shrine. their souls weighed down by the shadows of loss, but ignited by a fierce resolve. The moon hung low, a shimmering silver disk casting its ethereal light upon the ground, illuminating their path yet reminding them of the void left by Shiori. "Haruto, we mustn't waste time," Ryu urged, his voice taut with urgency. "Every moment we delay could allow Narukami to regroup. We cannot let darkness shroud our hope." Haruto clenched his fists, the hilt of Aoshira cold against his palm. "I will not abandon her," he said, determination igniting within him. "If Narukami is indeed banished, we must gather our strength and launch a rescue. Shiori would do the same for us. Then we must find the entrance to Narukami's domain," Ryu replied, his eyes scanning the horizon. "There are legends of a hidden passageway beneath the Elder Mountain, a place where shadows converge with the light of the moon." With hearts pounding like war drums, they ventured toward the fabled mountain, where the air grew heavy and portentous. Each step felt like a descent into a chasm of despair, yet the light of Kaguya still flickered within them, a beacon guiding their way. As they approached the mountain, the landscape shifted, trees twisted and contorted, their bark blackened and cracked, resembling gnarled hands reaching for the heavens. The winds howled through the branches, carrying with them whispers of lost souls, the echoes of a battle fought long ago. "Here the air is thick with sorrow," Ryu murmured, his voice barely carrying over the wind. "We must tread carefully. Narukami's influence lingers, and the shadows may try to entrap us once more." As if in response to his words, the ground trembled beneath their feet. Dark tendrils erupted from the earth, slithering like serpents, eager to latch onto the warriors. "Stay vigilant," Haruto commanded, raising Aoshira in a protective stance. The shadows coiled around them, their whispers growing more insistent, threatening to invade their minds. "What do you seek, foolish mortals?" they hissed, voices dripping with malice. "You shall not find her. Surrender to despair." "Shut your mouths," Ryu bellowed, summoning bolts of electricity that arced from his fingertips, illuminating the darkness. "We will not be swayed by your lies." Haruto charged forward, Aoshira illuminating the shadows as he swung the blade, cutting through the darkness that sought to envelop them. Each strike sent ripples of light cascading through the tendrils, forcing them to recoil. Yet they were relentless, multiplying as if fed by the very despair they aimed to sow. "Haruto, we need to push through," Ryu shouted, dodging a particularly vicious shadow that lunged for his throat. "We must reach the mountain's peak, where the gateway of despair lies." With each swing of Aoshira, Haruto felt the weight of grief and determination surge within him. "For Shiori," he cried, charging forward, the light of Kaguya flooding his veins as he carved a path through the shadows. Together they pressed onward, a whirlwind of light and thunder battling against the encroaching darkness. As they fought, glimpses of the past flickered through Haruto's mind. Shiori's laughter, her unwavering spirit, and her fierce dedication to their cause. Each memory fueled his resolve, pushing him beyond the brink of despair. At last they reached the mountain's summit, a jagged peak that pierced the clouds. Before them lay the gateway of despair, an ancient archway entwined with dark vines, pulsating with an ominous energy. "Here it is," Ryu said, his voice trembling with a mix of awe and dread. "To enter, we must embrace the darkness, for it is the only way to find Shiori. Then we shall confront Narukami once more," Haruto replied, his heart resolute. "Together, we face whatever lies beyond this threshold." They stepped through the archway, the world shifting around them as they were enveloped in darkness. Cold winds howled, carrying the echoes of anguished cries. Within this realm, time twisted, and the very fabric of reality felt fragile. Suddenly, an eerie silence enveloped them, a stillness that sent shivers down their spines. "Where are we?" Ryu whispered, his eyes darting around as shadows danced at the corners of their vision. "Perhaps this is Narukami's true domain," Haruto said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We must remain vigilant." As they moved deeper into the realm, the shadows coalesced into forms, twisted figures that manifested the fears and regrets of those who had fallen before. Nightmarish visions whirled around them. Friends and loved ones lost to the void, their faces twisted in despair. "Do not let them break you," Haruto shouted, wielding Aeshira with renewed fervor. "We fight for Shiori's light." With every swing of his sword, he struck against the manifestations, dispelling their darkness with the radiant light of Kaguya. Yet the shadows only multiplied, each blow sending more horrors spiraling out of the depths. "Haruto, we're being overwhelmed," Ryu shouted, summoning a tempest as he fought back the encroaching darkness. "We need to find the source of Narukami's power." Suddenly, a thunderous roar echoed through the void, shaking the ground beneath them. A colossal figure emerged from the shadows, Narukami himself, his form a swirling mass of dark energy, eyes smoldering like embers. "You think to challenge me in my domain?" he bellowed, voice rippling with malevolence. "Release Shiori," Haruto demanded, his heart pounding with a mix of fury and fear. "You will not win this time." Narukami laughed, a sound that chilled their very souls. "Fools, you think your light can overcome despair. I am darkness incarnate, I shall devour your hope." With that, he unleashed a torrent of shadows that surged toward them, seeking to swallow them whole. Haruto brandished Aeshira, its light flaring with the intensity of 1,000 stars. "Stand firm," he shouted to Ryu, grounding himself in the moment. As darkness closed in, the bond between the two warriors strengthened. Ryu raised his hands, summoning the storm within him as bolts of lightning erupted from his fingertips, striking the shadows with ferocity. "Together, Haruto, we unleash our strength." Haruto plunged Aeshira into the ground, channeling the light of Kaguya through its blade. "For Shiori, for our people," he roared, unleashing a wave of light that surged through the shadows, illuminating the abyss. The shadows screamed, recoiling from the purity of the light. Narukami's laughter faltered, transformed into a snarl of rage. "No, you cannot do this. Your hope is a flicker against the endless night. You underestimate the light within us." Ryu shouted as he continued to strike against the dark tendrils, creating a barrier of thunder around them. "We fight for every soul that has fallen to your darkness." With an electric surge, Haruto and Ryu launched their final assault, their energies merging into a blinding beacon of light that cut through the darkness like a sword through flesh. "This ends now, Narukami," they cried in unison. The light engulfed them, surging like a tidal wave, crashing against the demon's form. As it collided, Narukami howled in fury, his very essence unraveling in the face of their combined might. "You may have won this battle, but darkness is eternal. I shall return." With one final burst of energy, the light consumed Narukami, shattering his form into a million fragments that scattered into the abyss. As the darkness receded, Haruto and Ryu fell to their knees, panting and spent. "Is it over?" Ryu gasped, looking around as the remnants of the dark realm dissolved into nothingness. Haruto, still clenching the hilt of Aeshira, felt a lingering emptiness in his heart. "Not yet. We must find Shiori," he said, rising to his feet, determination etched into his features. "We cannot leave her behind." As they searched the now fading shadows, a faint light flickered in the distance, weaving through the remnants of darkness. "There," Ryu shouted, pointing toward the glow. They rushed toward it, hope surging within them. As they approached, the light revealed a figure shrouded in the essence of Kaguya. It was Shiori, her spirit luminescent, hovering at the edge of the dark void. "Haruto, Ryu," she called, her voice echoing with warmth and familiarity. "Shiori," Haruto exclaimed, joy flooding over him. "We thought we lost you." "I was trapped," she replied, her voice steady though ethereal. "But Kaguya's light guided me through. I felt you fighting for me in it." Kaguya shines light, but Demon returns Part 4. The light surrounding Shiori pulsed like a heartbeat, illuminating the shadows that danced nervously at the edges of the fading realm. Haruto and Ryu stood in awed silence, the weight of despair lifting as they witnessed their friend's spirit, radiant and hauntingly beautiful, defying the darkness that had threatened to consume her. Haruto, Ryu, Shiori's voice, though spectral, was imbued with warmth. I knew you would come. Your hearts are stronger than the shadows. Shiori, Haruto exclaimed, rushing forward, the light of Aashira trembling in his grasp. We thought we had lost you forever. How do we bring you back? Listen carefully, Shiori replied, her voice now a silvery thread woven through the air. I am bound between realms, but there is a way to free me. You must find the Heartstone, the gem that holds the essence of Kaguya's power. It lies within the Temple of Trials, a sacred place hidden deep within Narukami's domain. The Temple of Trials, Ryu echoed, his brow furrowed with the weight of her words. But that is where Narukami draws his strength. Indeed, Shiori affirmed, her eyes shimmering with an otherworldly glow. But the Heartstone is a beacon of light that can sever the ties between Narukami and his shadows. Without it, darkness will always seek to reclaim me and your world. A renewed sense of determination surged within Haruto. Then we will find it, Shiori. We'll bring you back, he declared, gripping the sword of Aashira tightly, its ethereal light flickering in agreement. Time is of the essence, Shiori urged, her form flickering like a candle in the wind. Narukami will sense your quest and seek to thwart you. You must hurry. With that, the light around Shiori began to pulse vigorously, then slowly dimmed, her voice echoing in their hearts. Remember, my spirit is always with you. Fight for the light. As her presence faded, Haruto felt a flicker of loss, but also an indomitable fire igniting within him. We'll bring you back, I promise, he murmured, his heart swelling with resolve. Let's move, Ryu shouted, breaking the silence that threatened to engulf them once more. We must reach the temple before Narukami can prepare his defenses. Together, they raced through the remnants of the Dark Realm, the path glimmering with the last vestiges of Kaguya's light. The air was thick with tension, each step echoing with the hearts of countless souls intertwined with their fate. They felt the menace lurking in the shadows, an unyielding presence that sought to extinguish their hope. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook violently, sending tremors through the air. Shadows writhed and curled, coalescing into forms that bore the grim semblance of warriors twisted by despair. Flee while you can, mortals, they hissed in a chorus of tormented voices. You cannot withstand the darkness. Stand firm, Haruto shouted, raising Aashira high, its blade gleaming with celestial light. We will not be cowed by your haunting. For every soul lost, we fight back. The spectral warriors surged forward, their forms flickering like flame. Ryu unleashed a bolt of thunder, crackling through the air as it struck the ground near the advancing shadows. We carve our path with the storm, he roared, channeling his power as electric arcs danced across his fingers. The two warriors charged into battle, Haruto leading the way with the sword of Aashira. His strikes were fierce, each swing a testament to his resolve, the blade slicing through the shadows, illuminating their twisted forms in bursts of blinding light. For Shiori, he cried, pouring his heart into each strike, his spirit unyielding. Yet the shadows were relentless, their forms multiplying with each spirit they consumed. Your strength is futile, they wailed, their voices mingling with the screams of the Forsaken. Do not listen to their lies, Ryu shouted, summoning another wave of thunder. We will push through, together. With a fierce cry, Haruto pressed forward, cutting through the darkness that sought to engulf them. Each shadow that fell only seemed to give rise to more, but he felt the bond of his comrades strengthen with each passing moment. They fought as one, a storm of light and fury, the echoes of their ancestors urging them onward. Look, Ryu yelled, pointing toward a pulsating glow that emerged from within the shadows, a glimpse of the Temple of Trials, its ancient architecture standing as a bastion against the encroaching darkness. We are close. As they surged toward the temple, Narukami's laughter echoed from the depths of the abyss. Foolish warriors, you think you can enter my sanctuary unscathed. The trials are designed to break even the strongest of hearts. The ground trembled beneath their feet, the very air thickening with dread. We are not afraid of your trials, Haruto shouted defiantly, Charging forward, fear and sorrow transformed into a blade of resolve. But as they neared the temple, a colossal shadow loomed above them. A guardian spirit, its form a terrifying amalgamation of nightmares, with eyes blazing like molten fire. "I am the warden of the trials," it boomed, its voice resonating like thunder. "To pass, you must confront your deepest fears. Then let us begin." Ryu yelled, stepping forward, his heart drumming in anticipation. "We have no time for hesitation." The warden unleashed a deafening roar, the ground cracking open as shadows swirled around them, forming dark specters that embodied their greatest insecurities. In a heartbeat, Haruto found himself standing before a vision of his past, a battlefield drenched in blood, surrounded by the anguished faces of those he had failed to protect. "Haruto," they cried, their voices mingling in a cacophony of despair. "You let us down, you are weak, you'll never defeat Narukami." "No," Haruto shouted, his voice breaking through the haunting echoes. "I carry your memories in my heart, I fight for you." The vision flickered and wavered, but darkness swirled, seeking to re-establish its hold. "You cannot escape your failures," it hissed, tendrils reaching toward him. Summoning every ounce of strength and the memory of Shiori and his comrades, Haruto drew Aishira, its light bursting forth like a beacon. "I will not be defined by my past. I fight for the future." With a swift strike, he banished the specter, dissolving it into a cascade of shadows that scattered into the void. Meanwhile, Ryu faced his own demons, visions of his family entwined in a tempest, their faces twisted in terror. "Why did you abandon us?" they screamed, their voices rending his heart. "You were meant to protect us." "No," Ryu roared, summoning his thunderous power. "I carry my family's love with me. I will honor their sacrifice, and I will not let despair claim another life." As lightning crackled around him, he unleashed a storm that swallowed the shadowy figures, scattering them into the ether. With each trial faced, the path to the temple grew clearer, the shadows receding as their resolve strengthened. Finally, they stood before the Temple of Trials, its gates adorned with intricate carvings depicting battles between light and darkness. With a deep, shuddering breath, Haruto placed his hand upon the gates, feeling the pulse of energy within. "Together, Ryu," he said, steeling himself, "we will face whatever lies beyond." They pushed the gates open, stepping into a chamber illuminated by a soft, ethereal glow. The walls seemed to hum with power, and at the center lay the Heartstone, a gem radiant and pulsating with the essence of Kaguya herself. But as they approached, a figure emerged from the shadows, a cloaked being, its presence suffused with an aura of dread. "You dare seek the Heartstone," it intoned, voice dripping with malice. "You will pay dearly for your arrogance. Stand back," Ryu shouted, electric energy crackling in his palms as he prepared to unleash his storm. "We will not let you stop us." "Fools," the figure hissed, raising its arms as shadows billowed around it, forming a tempest that swirled and roared. "You cannot hope to stand against despair." With a fierce battle cry, Haruto charged forward, Aishira held high, its light cutting through the oppressive darkness. "For Shiori, for our people," he shouted, the determination in his heart igniting a fire within him. The battle that ensued was cataclysmic, a clash of light against darkness, a storm of energy that threatened to consume them whole. Haruto and Ryu fought side by side, their hearts entwined in the struggle, drawing strength from the bonds of friendship and sacrifice. "Keep pushing," Ryu bellowed, summoning a torrent of lightning that illuminated the chamber in blinding flashes. "We are stronger together." As they pressed on, the cloaked figure faltered, the shadows swirling chaotically around.